Hey guys, welcome back to the MarketingBox podcast. Today we're doing a Meet the Team interview. We have Katie Paganuzzi with us.
Hi.
Katie is such a light to the team. I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
I've gotten to know her already. And before she got rehired, I already heard so many great things about you. So we're excited to dive into who is Katie and all those great things today.
Thank you. And I was so excited to meet you. I've been watching all your videos. I'm a big fan. So, yeah, it's been great.
Katie's
happy to be back.
Yeah, you've got so much personality. And I think a lot of that, I've heard it comes through with working with your clients. So let's describe what you do. Katie is our director of accounts. It was kind of hard to give Katie a title because she's like the mother of our clients. So let's tell the audience just a little bit about what you do every day.
So I'm the person that is in the middle of our producers who do the creative and our clients. I make sure that they get what they need as far as, getting the word out of their product or their service. So I work closely with them, making sure they understand the Leads platform and making sure that they really understand what they're getting when they get something from Direct Mail IO.
And would you say that that's more of these are skills, like you work so well with clients, so are these skills that you've picked up as your career has gone, or did you learn these things? Like, how did you become so good at what you do?
Oh, thank you. Well, I've always been a big talker. Like, even when I was a kid, I'm always talking to somebody. I could talk to the wall. So it kind of came naturally for me. And lucky for me, all our clients are super nice people. So it's been great getting to know them and becoming friends with them. And I love helping people. So it kind of just came natural to me. Also, ever since I was young, my sister and I have been like little hustlers. We've always had like a hustle on the side. I remember we would be on the school bus and we would be selling our Mardi Gras beads from the Mardi Gras parades we went to in New Orleans. So I've always had that little bit of hustle in me where I'm like just trying to get the business done. So I think it all kind of came together.
And I've heard your daughter is kind of the same way.
Oh, she'll do anything for a buck.
So how old is she?
She's 7, and she
goodness.
is the little artist too. So she's come into the office before with her drawings, and she'll make sure she gets paid for each one. I asked her to come on the podcast, and she's only interested if y'all are paying.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
She is a nut.
So the apple does not fall far from the tree, huh?
It really does not. We're
goodness.
just like, and my sister lives with me as well, and she's an artist. So we're just kind of like a family of little hustlers, girl power chicks.
I love it. I love it. So, Katie, let's talk a little bit about your background. Like, where'd you go to school? Where'd you grow up? How did you get into this kind of career?
Yeah. So I grew up in Alexandria. And I moved to New Orleans when I was in high school. I went to school at Southeastern, and I originally started studying elementary education, but as soon as I got into the classroom, I was like, wow, this is not for me. I couldn't do this every day. Great job, teachers. Y'all do great things. I couldn't do it. I have a cousin. Her name's Elizabeth, and she was always doing different marketing jobs. She owned a marketing agency, and I always just thought she was such a cool chick. So I started studying marketing at Southeastern, and I always knew I wanted to do something creative. So the shoe just kind of fit. Unfortunately, I'm a terrible artist, though. Unlike the rest of my family, I cannot draw. I'm a terrible artist. So the whole account side really just is a good fit for me.
It's really funny because in our office, everybody's creative, but in their own way. And it's so funny how, like, we've all got brought together among this common concept, marketing.
Like, if you guys had me design a mailer, it would look terrible. We had this Halloween party every year, and I wanted to make a pumpkin dress.
Oh, goodness.
Mike probably remembers this.
Oh, I need to pull up a photo. Katie, after this, you're going to have to send me a photo.
Yeah,
okay.
So we had this, I love Halloween, too. It's, my favorite holiday. And so I was like, I have this orange dress, and I'm going to make it into, a jack-o'-lantern. And I got a Sharpie, and everything is, lopsided.
It's legit.
Like my pants.
It's worse than your pants. It is bad. But it was so funny that I just wore it, every year. I still have it. I'll wear it for this Halloween.
Oh, it's a Halloween tradition. If we don't see Katie in the Halloween dress, it's a disappointment.
Yes. I remember around Halloween time, Mike was talking about Katie in the jack-o'-lantern dress. And I think he, texted you or something, and he was like,
I was wearing it.
Yeah. Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was wearing it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's wild.
So you studied marketing at Southeastern, then what?
So at the time when I graduated, it was like pretty much a bad time to graduate because I think it was like 2009 and I couldn't get a job to save my life. So I was working in bars and restaurants and, it was so much fun. I'm actually kind of glad it happened that way. And I just learned to talk to all different kinds of people. So yeah, I struggled for a while, worked in restaurants, and then I started working in sales for a little while. Once I started working for Direct Mail IO in 2015, I really started to learn more of how to manage accounts and learn more about marketing. When I started here, it was strictly direct mail. And I was kind of turned off by that. I was like, all I've heard in college is that direct mail is going away. And, but I remember sitting down with Mike, and Mike brought out the mailer and he showed me and he was like, oh, scratch this off here. And I did. And he's like, oh my God, you won. And I fell for it. I was like, I won. And then he was like, no, you didn't actually win. And we went through the whole process of how the mail works with pearls and the codes and everything and how it was actually so smart and so intuitive. And then I was like, well, this is really cool. And since then, the company has grown so much with different channels and everything. But direct mail was a really cool way to start here and really get into it and learn all about it and learn the print process and all that good stuff.
So our company was like your first job in marketing.
It was.
Oh,
yeah.
the same for me.
Yeah, I worked on the client side for a little while where I was a marketing coordinator for a really cool company in the oil and gas industry. And so I was reaching out to marketing agencies asking for things and website updates and things like that. So it's kind of cool to work on both sides because you kind of can see, the customer's standpoint. And now I'm on the agency side. And so, yeah.
So I love that you brought up that even just working in the restaurant industry, you get to know people. Mm-hmm. And great marketers have to be great communicators. So if you're not talking to people, you don't really know what they're looking for, what they need. And so you developed all kind of those, I guess they're called soft skills, but in the marketing world, they go a long way. So that's really interesting that you brought that up because I've always thought that marketing can be learned.
Yeah. So, well, I think everyone should have to work in a restaurant at one point in their lives.
I did. I was a hostess. I was 16. It was Sammy's Grill.
And everyone loves that place. All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I think everyone should work there. I mean, you learn that sense of urgency. What do you say? If you got time to lean, you got time to clean. You never can just stand around in a restaurant. Someone's always telling you, you got to keep busy and stuff. You learn how to talk to different kinds of people.
And you learn how to think on your feet.
Yeah, and then everything's so fast-paced, too, in the places that I worked that, I'll still have, I call them nightmares.
Yeah.
Where I'm dead in my sleep. And, granted, I
haven't. The ranch.
Yes, I forgot the ranch. Or, I haven't worked in restaurants in, 15, 20 years or something. And, I'll still, in the middle of the night, I'll be dreaming, everyone needs a refill. Or, I forgot the ketchup. Or my favorite one is the machine, the Posy machine, is really up high. And somehow I shrunk and I can't touch the button, so I can't put the orders in. It's or that noise from the Coke machine when the Coke's out. It's pop, pop.
Oh no, one time, y'all, I was so dumb. I accidentally got myself stuck in the freezer. I was doing my side work. Because I was never a server, but both my sisters were. I think when you're 16, there was something, I couldn't be a server yet. I had to be a hostess for a certain amount of time. Uh-huh. But anyways, so some of my side work, I had to go get, all the cleaning supplies, clean all the... I didn't have to clean toilets, but it was clean up all the paper towels in the bathroom and all that. And then I had to go bring stuff to the freezer. Well, I didn't realize, y'all, I thought I was locked in that freezer. I wasn't.
Then when you get your first office job after working in a restaurant for so long, you just appreciate it. You're I don't have to work the weekends. I get my own desk. It's a big thing. I was so appreciative once I got my first job.
And so now, let's just say someone that wants to get into marketing doesn't really know how to, now that you've gone through all of these things, what would you suggest their path look like?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked this because I feel like I did it a little bit wrong. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy was giving suggestions for people who want to get into marketing. And I was like, dang it, I wish I would have heard this. So I had this weird mentality when I graduated that it was going to be easy and people should just give me a job because I have a degree. It's really not like that. I mean, you have to be able to bring value to that company. Some people do get lucky and they just have companies that like them and want to grow them. But a lot of times you have to give something that's valuable to this company. And unfortunately, a degree is just not enough. So those internships are so important while you're in school, just to like learn these skills. But also, what the podcast was saying the other day was, if you have something to offer this company that you want to work for, tell them what it is. Like, say you want to do website updates or SEO or something like that. Just to say that you learned that in school isn't enough. If you contact the company you want to work for and say things like, hey, I saw your website, I love it, these are some things I would have done differently, and kind of lay these things out. I mean, a company, or even offer to do them for free just to get your foot in the door. I mean, there's all kinds of creative ways to get into marketing that I wish I would have thought of before. I feel like I got lucky whenever I met Sean and Mike and started working for Direct Mailio. It was a great foot in the door. But yeah, man, the college grads, it's kind of tough getting into it, I feel.
My path was also kind of different, too. I mean, I was lucky that I got a job right out of graduating, but I just remember talking to all my friends and stuff, and, like, you really do need to set yourself apart, because if 20 other people have that same degree as you, like, how are you different? Mm-hmm. So that's really good advice, Katie, I think, to give somebody. I mean, nowadays, I feel like, and I see these videos, too, all the time. Like, I'm sure you see them, the funny videos on TikTok, like the marketing team after making just one TikTok a day. But, like, that is the public's perception of what marketing is, and that's so far off. Like, I know that it's just a joke, but I don't even think people understand what all goes into it.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I totally didn't understand. Whenever when I found out you were doing just content, I was like, oh, I wonder if I can get her to help with this, and that. And I didn't realize all day you are busy cutting videos, and I didn't realize all the work that goes into it. So kudos to you. I was already thinking in my head, like, how can I use Shannon for my benefit?
I will help in any ways. It really is fun. And that's what we always say. Like, if you're not having fun when you're creating content, what's the point of doing it, you know?
Yeah, and I think for you guys, for you especially, like, the consistency has been on your side. Like, to have a dedicated person that's, like, focused every day, we got to do something. I mean,
you work with a lot of clients, and what's some of, like, the issues that you see across the board? Like, is social media one of those? Like, they just don't really know how to go about things? Like, what's some of the main issues that our clients have?
Oh, man. With our clients, a lot of times they know what their problem is. They just don't know how to solve it in the most simplest terms. So it's great to hear, they might think that they want direct mail, but once they talk to us, we might find out that, you might need direct mail, but you also need different channels. So I think part of our job is fun, because you kind of have to, like, get to know them, get to know their problem, and then work with them to get the solution. A lot of times they'll tell you more if you just listen than when you talk. So those initial conversations are super important, because you can, get a lot out of them. I'm sorry, what was the original question? I think I went on a tangent. No,
I just said, like, what's some issues you see that our clients have, like, across the board?
Some issues. I think one of the issues, too, is with marketing dollars, they have the money to spend, they want to spend it on marketing, but once they spend it, they don't always know what their return is. I think that's one of the great benefits of working with Direct Mailio, because when you spend those marketing dollars, you really know what works, and you can kind of adjust it from there. The first, I don't know, what would you say, 3 months is kind of a testing period for most clients, where we're not the experts in all industries. I mean, we know automotive like it's the back of our hand, but when we're working with all different kinds of industries, there's some testing that goes along with it. So it's really great to have this dashboard where we can look after a month or 2 or 3 and say, like, hey, direct mail is really working for y'all. Or, you know what, Facebook's where you get the most returns. So, yeah.
And what would you say, like, what's the most rewarding part of what you do? Is it seeing, like, a client's campaign be super successful, or seeing their progress years down the road? Like, what would you say is the most rewarding part of what you do?
Yeah, I love being creative, and I love to give the ideas. I'm not, like, the creative director or anything, but, like, if I have an idea and Mike likes it, oh my God, it makes me feel so good. And then to see it, like, in print or wherever.
She had a really good idea the other day too. I mean, and that's what we love about being this small circle, and that everybody can feel like they can input, because her input's very valuable. I think she's actually come up with 2 really good ideas that we're trying to put into it. I know.
Yes.
Hey, Katie.
Go me. So that's like the selfish part of it, but it is super rewarding to see the clients succeed, especially if they were naysayers in the beginning, like, oh, we've done direct mail before and it never worked. And then all of a sudden, we put our secret sauce into it. Maybe we add a different hook, or maybe we add a different channel, like text messaging or something like that, and it works. And so that feels really good to see them get that return on their investment.
Do you think that that's something that's really misunderstood about marketing, like that direct mail is dead, or what? Like, what's some of the biggest misconceptions you see?
One of the biggest misconceptions that I've seen is that when people have an amazing product or service, they think that people are just going to know about it magically. But I've created like a couple of products, and nobody will know about it if you don't tell them about it, and if you don't find different ways to reach people. Whenever I get a sale and someone comes from like a random source that I had no idea, I'm always like amazed, but that's like a fluke. Like, you have to get the word out somehow. So just because you have an amazing product doesn't mean it's going to sell. You have to advertise, or you have to find even an organic way to get the message out.
So I'm glad you touched on this. So let's back up a little bit, because I know you've had two pretty successful, like one is still current, but you actually sold one of your other companies, like the whole box you were doing. And now you're doing the Binky Box. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about those, because I think those are really, really neat concepts.
Yeah, this is my first time hearing that you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I was telling you, ever since I've been a little kid, I've been like slinging Mardi Gras beads on the bus. I think at one point we had a talent show on the bus, and I had my little recorder, and I was selling tapes. I mean, like, I'm always trying to think of a way to make extra money. So, this actually came about when I first started working here the first time. I created a subscription box called the Whole Box, and that was right when the Whole30 diet was like super popular. So the subscription box was a monthly box, and it had different Whole30 products that you could use while you're on the diet. And at that time, there wasn't a ton of products out there, so a lot of people were eating the same things over and over again to stay compliant. So my idea was like, let me get these products into people's hands, let them try it, and then they can go out and buy them if they like them. So the reason why it was really successful is because these companies were giving me the products for free. So I was selling these products. I was selling the box for, I think, $29.99 a month, and it was like a subscription. So, but I was getting all the products for free. All I was paying for was really the box and the shipping. So I did that while I was working here for about 8 or 9 months, until my house completely looked like a warehouse. I had boxes everywhere. It was just a madhouse. And I was working full time, so I was tired. I had, I think, a 3 or 4 year old at the time. And someone came to me and asked if I would be interested in selling. And I couldn't say yes fast enough, because I was done. In hindsight, I do wish I could have kept it, but everything happens for a reason. It was a great, the timing was pretty perfect, because that diet was really at a high. And then the subscription business was really popular then too. So I got out of that and sold the business. And then I coasted for a little while. And then it didn't take long before that bug was back at me, like, Katie, you could be doing more. Katie, you don't need to be watching TV. At night when you get home, you could be making more money. So, I had this other
hustle.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's like, I don't know, I can just never have enough money, or I just always feel like I could be doing more, I came up with another idea, and it hasn't quite taken off like the first yet, but it's still a work in progress. It's called the Binky Box, and it kind of came up from an inconvenience that I had with my daughter, because she's a picky little thing. She never could find a pacifier she liked. We struggled with finding a bottle she liked, but then once she found one, she is obsessed with it. So my thought was, let's give parents a toolkit for whenever they have their babies, so they don't have to struggle with the same thing. So you get this box, and it comes with different types of pacifiers, like 4 of the most popular, I think, pacifier brands out there, but they have different nipple types, so that if your baby doesn't like the round one, they might like the flat one, and you're not going back and forth to Amazon and Walgreens, and you just have this little toolkit for the baby, right off the bat. So it makes the perfect shower gift. You can buy it at www.thebinkybox.com.
Don't worry, I'll put it in the little description.
Free shipping, use code free ship. No, I'm just kidding. So it hasn't quite taken off yet, but it's also because I don't advertise for it. Like I was saying, it's the same concept with their like hairstylists are the last ones to get their hair done. I do marketing all day long for my clients. At the end of the day, I really just don't put enough time into it. Most of my sales come from drop shipping. So I have other people that sell the box, and I just ship it out every day.
Interesting. Okay. So you have that bug. You have like the same kind of bug that Sean does. I feel like ideas are coming to Sean nonstop. I feel like almost every day I hear him say something new.
I would think, and that's one of the things that we loved about Katie, why we wanted her back, because of her spirit. Not that she's just great with customers. And I tell you what, I think they were even more excited than we were. Like the calls we've been on with Cassie at K9 and them, they're like, oh, yay. They're like so fired up.
My buddies.
But it's the entrepreneur spirit, knowing how to run your own business. Like, because Katie comes in here and treats this like it's her business. She treats the customers like they are the customer, her own personal customers. Like this is, MarketingBox, Direct Mail is her business. And that's one of the things we loved about her, because it's really, really hard to find people dedicated in that manner and have that kind of mindset where she said earlier, I think about what their problems are. I talk to them, find out what their problems are. Then we deliver the solution. I mean, that's basically our mission statement on everything that we do. So it's kudos to you, Katie. So glad you're here back. I mean, it's a blessing that you're back.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be back. And just to touch on one thing that you said, their marketing dollars, like I know how bad it hurts to spend hundreds of dollars on something that doesn't bring anything back. So I treat their money like it's my money as well when it comes to their like Facebook budgets and things like that. I think that's what makes me good at my job sometimes, but it also makes me a little bit crazy because I'm obsessed and I'm annoying. I have annoyed the crap out of my...
When she left, and we want to talk about all that, but I was like, man, I miss me some Paganuzzi, man. Like that spirit of in your face, I need to get this now because my client wants it was missing for a while. And I think it's glad to have you back again.
Yeah, Katie, I've been hearing stories about you since I started.
Oh, gosh, I'm sure there were some funny ones.
All good things. But, like, the story about you jumping out your seat every time, and just, like, funny things like that. Like, your spirit was missed. And I'm glad to have you because I'm also kind of like that. Like, I'm always like, la, 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 world. But, no, yeah, you're just so great to have here. And
thank you, guys. This has been so nice. Y'all are so sweet. I should come in here more often and get encouraged.
I know. Katie's like, wow, I'm going to have a great day after this. I'm getting hyped up. So aside from, we've talked about your daughter, how you got into marketing, why your job is so great. What other hobbies do you do on the side? Like, I know your sister's an artist. Do you help her out with that? Like, who is Katie outside of work?
Yeah, so I love spending time with my daughter. I love to spend time out on the water. I used to be really big into Orange Theory and working out, and I recently got out of it, and I've really got to get back in, but I do love to work out. What else do I love? I love Netflix. I was going to say Netflix and chill, but no, I just love Netflixing. What else do I love? I love my Stanley Cups.
You getting paid for that promotion?
I could. I will be an ambassador for Stanley. Yeah.
Just
free Stanley Cups.
Yeah, I would love that. Just normal mom stuff.
And do you have any goals for the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what are you hoping is going to come true? Because in a couple Mondays, maybe next Monday, you're going to have to present to us what your goals are. Your future, far future, like what's some things that you hope to come true?
Yeah, I would love to see the Binky box take off, kind of like the whole box did. Even if it were to come an opportunity where I could sell it like I did the other one, that would be great. I'd love to be in a new house. Always moving up, always doing better. I'd love to, spend more time with my child, find ways to do that. Pay off some bills, normal girl stuff. I guess I would just say it's really great to be back and working with my clients again. I've been asked before, what makes you good at your job? And I think I'm not a person that's going to get it right every time. I make mistakes all the time when it comes to spelling and things like that.
Don't look at me. I'm a terrible speller.
But it's important to me to have these relationships with clients because I feel like once you do, they understand you're a person too. You're not a machine that gets everything right. So when things do go wrong, they feel comfortable enough to talk to me about it or send me a text and say, hey, you spelled asses instead of assess, things like that. And we can laugh about it. And they come back to me and we do it all over again. And we spell assess right the next time and not asses, because that happened too. I'm sorry. Do you remember that?
I don't.
But I might not have told Mike about that because I was embarrassed.
Well, Katie, you've been great to have on.
Thank you.
And I hope, too, that you'll slowly start coming in our content more, because I think you just have such a vibrant personality. Something I can really feed off of. So
yeah, I'm excited to learn from you and work together. So thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Yay.